Hey guys, Monk52 here. Today we're covering the Fuso, the mighty Fuso Masterclass. Finally, again, gonna be old video, but for now we'll take a look at what we currently have on the Fuso. Same builds before, which is nice. Definitely worth looking into. So let's go to upgrades. Aiming systems, really the best option. You could go with secondary battery, but the extra 7% dispersion is probably, yeah, it's definitely worth it. All three options here are all viable. I went for propulsion because I like to get places quicker. Propulsion is usually a good pick overall for pretty much everything, but you could really use either or. Tagagi is your best option here with Andrew Cunningham and Scharnhorst. If you have her, if you don't have her, you could go with a number of different options. You could go with actually, okay, let's go back here. Auto for increased AP damage, which is also very useful. You could go with Jujard for additional penetration, Japanese 14-inch, not very high penetration, and you could go with Von Essen for penetration angles. All are good options if you don't have Scharnhorst. So yeah, Flambekan here, additional accuracy, additional range. Fuso has a very good range, and you definitely want to build into that. Drill bits is my preference. Fuso is quite fast, and you can take off crisscross, put it on crisscross, get rid of that speed reduction. It goes up to 25 knots. Not fast, pretty fast for tier 5. Marksmanship for the additional dispersion, which is always nice. Cost of ruddership, which is a little bit annoying. Again, as we spoke about before, reaching out and will to rebuild. Again, if you have Azure Lane Fuso, she is also a viable choice, and you could run this build. Same build essentially, the only difference is Battle Spirit. And the base trait is cover fire. And if you have an angled target, angled battleship, don't be afraid to shoot HE. And the Fuso is not a bad idea. But make sure the AP should be used at all times. You have 12 guns on the Fuso. That's a shotgun. It's called the shotgun for a reason. Decent secondaries as well. I only kind of glossed over it, but still decent secondaries. Remember this point on the armor scheme? To be protection, take that off when looking at armor. It gives you a false sense of security or dissecurity or whatever. Anyway, bows 25, typical battleship tier 5. Everything has tier 5, 25. Take off the citadel. It actually has a slight turtleback, the Fuso, if you didn't see that there, which is really worth knowing. 34 to 38 millimeter, 35 to 31. There we go. 35 to 50 millimeter deck. Actually resilient to a lot of damage. This is actually a well-armored Japanese boat for once. Not actually bad armor. Again, if you get broadside it's over, but you need to angle, you'll actually be pretty darn tanky. Superstructure goes up to space, but it's not that bad actually, considering the whole ship. Just be aware that tubular protection for future masterclasses need to be taken off in order to consider the actual armor. Overall, Fuso is quite well armored. Again, don't get broadside though. Japanese battleships tend to get dev struck that way. So yeah, without much further ado, let's head into the match. See you for now. And we're back. Here we go. So this game is a builder game. Did it during a live stream way back. This was Solisto and Runny. Now Solisto is doing a current poll that's going on, and he's trying to do this for his grinder ship line. So when he live streams, he does a grinding line. He's just finishing up the Russian DD line, and he has options that are listed in Discord. So if you watch Solisto streaming, please take a look at our Discord and give him the options in his poll. Take a look at the poll and you can see his options for grind a ship. So yes, as much as we give praise to Solisto, we will slant him after this video. Don't worry, we can't have a video praising Solisto without giving him crap for it. So I had to mute the audio here because obviously this is a live stream, so it does record the audio, but this is a fun Fuso game. Fuso is known as a shotgun for a reason. This thing is exceptionally good at firing a lot of lead towards enemy targets, as this poor Nuremberg knows. That's a citadel for me, and Solisto finishes him off with another citadel. So yes, pretty darn rough. Solisto is a really good pushing battleship. It's actually an exceptionally good brawler. Even against Germans, because it just has 12 guns, and if these 12 guns all connect, that's a lot of damage. Turtleback or not, it's pretty darn devastating. Broadside Russian BB, spotter playing up, let's try and get him. Let's turn away innocently because he could delete us just as bad. Well, a little bit easier. We would have a turtle back, yes, but we wanted to eliminate, rip him new one. Hit him 6 times. That's pretty darn good. So far, we're off to 41k. This is a very quick and fast-paced match. Just mind. Fuso excels at range and excels at brawling. Medium range can do well, but you kind of want to play mid-range early game and then closer range late game. Again, you want to be careful with HE, you want to be careful giving your broadside, but you have to give up broadside to fire most of your guns. So really pick your timing when you want to fire, when you want to show that juicy broadside to people, so you need to be careful about it. Overall, well-angled Fuso is incredibly tanky, and just of all Japanese guns, kiting away is probably your preferred option unless you're very comfortable in the ship. Now, I love the Japanese battleships personally, and I'm very comfortable with them, so I'm pushing aggressively. You can do this even early game if you have a good team with you, but I wouldn't recommend this all the time. Again, as I said, Fuso is an absolute shotgun. Not great accuracy, but when they do hit, my god, it's fun to see. Fire some shots at Dallas, he turns to avoid every single salvo. That's unfortunate. Japanese guns usually have a relatively high velocity, and you should get consistent hits, at least of 12 guns. Fuso does have 14-inch guns as well at tier 5, which is not bad, but you're kind of lacking in penetration compared to everyone else. Arizona will beat you in pen, even though he has 14-inch guns, and a lot of other stuff that 15-inch guns are big players in the game will do that. Now, just rip a Wyoming apart there, giving broadside. I don't know why Wyoming's in a tier 5 game, but there we go. Just an example, Fuso performs really well when top tier, of course. New York over here, tier 4, bit more fair and a bit more reasonable explanation. We're going to back out here because we did overextend a little bit, but what we did is we pre-reversed and we got out disengaged without taking really any damage in return. Did get a wee fire here. As soon as we go dark though, we take that last salvo, we probably will burn damage control here because we're not really going to get shot. I don't know why I've not burnt damage control right now. I don't remember the reason for it. I don't see why we shouldn't. Also, as well, in the West Virginia, you may have seen a special face there. Yes, Zarkun is on the enemy team. This team, he's really trying. Zarkun does really well, but he just can't push into this team. It's too deadly for him to fight, at least with the Fuso being there. There's a Gas B and there's also a DD harassing their base. So we're being careful here. We're just being a little bit passive here. We're going to start pushing back in. Fuso has extreme range. As you can see, if I had a better position where I could shoot everyone, you could see I could shoot absolutely everyone that's spotted and even the people that were ghosted a minute ago. So Fuso does really excel at range. If you're in a pickle, you can kite away and you can shoot comfortably. This is really good for that. It's also really good for late game. Getting in there and brawling. 12 guns, you're effectively the Leon, except at tier 5. So yeah, we're going to push back in here. We're going to maybe take some pot shots at Zarkun over there, though we do see a Peter popping up. And, you know, Russian battleships giving broadside are really fun and really definitely worth shooting. So we're going to push into this guy here. He can't see us at the minute. We're kind of maybe popping him in surprise. He might have remembered where we were, but he doesn't know where we are now. So now he sees us. Unfortunately, he's not paying attention for his sake. And seeing what Zarkun's there. Is he going to take that torpedo? No, he dodges it. Very well played, Zarkun. And look at this guy, completely oblivious to our existence. Spotter plane goes up. He's trying to dodge torpedoes, which means he is giving us flat broadside. And there we go. He is out of the count, giving us the high caliber and our second devastating strike of this game. So we're going to push in more. At this point, our left side is not doing incredibly well, but they're doing well. Our right hand side, which is with the DD, is the side I want to push because my division mate is in there. He's contesting the base, which means they need to come my way. In order to come my way, they need to sail that way, and then they need to give me that flat broadside, as you can see. So New York could be taking a nice salvo here. Yes, he does. He takes 5 penetrations from the Fuso guns. We're going to keep pushing in. We're going to keep brawling a little bit. We're not actually really brawling. We're just capitalizing on enemy mistakes. Again, you can be much more tankier. I've got some clips here. I'll link below of the Fuso when it's on its last legs. Remember, always angle in the Fuso. You'll do exceptionally well. I might revisit the Fuso because this is such an easy game and the team did not do well. I just thought it was such a funny result, such exceptional damage you can do in the Fuso. I thought I'd feature this in, but I might revisit the Fuso on a later date for a more educational video. Alright, take some hits there from New York. Not angled enough. You need to have a very steep angle for the Fuso. I wouldn't say you're bow tanking, but you could bow tank the New York. You want to keep it heavy angle, and you don't want to be doing what I did there. Some Dallas HE comes in because of our 35mm deck, and you see the general really tough middle armor. It just shatters for almost no damage. Even with EOP, he's still going to struggle to do too much to it. Only damage you really take is through that massive pagoda, that pagoda life. Oh yeah. So Dallas is giving broadside. We have fast shell velocity. Definitely going to see some decent damage. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. He's out of there again for our third death strike. Yeah, we tried a couple times to hit him, but unfortunately he wasn't biting. All it means that we just wanted that one shot to finish him off. So yeah, we're pushing in. At this point we're taking a lot of fire, and that's okay. We're tanking for our team near the end, but that's fine. I'd rather tank for the team at some point in this game rather than nothing. New York's giving me broadside yet again. This is absolute glorious game for me. Everyone's just been sailing broadside to me. Again, if you're on a flank, creating the crossfires, Fuso does really well when you get the broadsides. Angled targets is not what you want to shoot. Some boats have better penetration, Fuso does not. So you definitely want to be catching people broadside. You have the speed and you have the maneuverability to get in those positions. Again, you want to be using your range, you want to be using the advantage of the ship. Sometimes it's well worth brawling even in a Japanese boat, and this can certainly brawl like one of the best. Really is a very good brawler with those 12 guns of justice, or shall I say 12 guns for the Emperor. Anyway, West Virginia, Zarkin here, heavily angled. We're going to shoot up on his superstructure to see if we can get a good hit on him. He's angled enough that he will bounce our shells. Fuso does not have great penetration, so we're going to use the smoke screen a little bit quickly here. He punches right through our nose. That's unfortunate. We're just doing this so we can get a little bit closer, and then we're going to turn hard right. So taking a little bit of damage, not great, but we need to turn away and present this full gun salute for Zarkin over here. We're going to take this torp, unfortunately. Bit of a misplay on my part, but we do hit Zarkin pretty darn hard, and we pick up the Confederate. Well, we actually hit him decently. We only get 2 overpins on it, but it gives us enough for the Confederate. We got the Dallas over here. Can we butcher the Dallas with those shots? They look very accurate and well gripped, so hopefully we can get a good result with these. Very good result, just not the killing shot, unfortunately. Can we fire the rest? Again, sometimes it's a good idea to fire all the guns, sometimes it's hard to mix and spread them, and I do recommend switching between when you have a target that's very squirrely. So there we go. We're follow up, we get the 4th shot, and unfortunately don't get the Kraken. Overall, a very strong game in Fuso. We rack up a number of 173k, 8 citadels, 3 death strikes, high caliber, and Confederate. So yeah, pretty strong game. Basically 3000 base XP or 2900. Almost the Kraken, unfortunate, but overall pretty strong game. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would normally end it here, but I'm actually going to show you the commentary that happened on the end screen, and I think you'll rather enjoy that. Until that point though, I'm going to say my goodbyes. See you later guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Monk, I took your Kraken.
You did. You stole my Kraken.
To be fair though, I didn't really steal it. You just did most of the work.